Tonight on Connecticut's news station, recreational sales grow. Another step in the rollout of legal marijuana in our state as the first shop of its kind is about to open.
Also, tense moments in one Connecticut city. Several schools placed on lockdown as police search for a suspect wanted in a hit and run.
And Beatlemania in Connecticut. Sir Paul McCartney speaks at one university in our state. We'll tell you why he was there, and we'll hear from some of his fans.
Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Start with breaking news at 10. A neighborhood in Manchester is on edge after a stabbing tonight. Good evening. I'm Jen Bernstein.
And I'm Ben Goldman. Thanks for joining us here at 10. Manchester police have asked people living around Oakland Street to stay in their homes as officers search for a suspect tonight. Fox 61's Gabby Molina joining us live from the scene with what we're learning here. Gabby.
Well, Ben and Jen, we've just learned in the last few minutes or so that Manchester police did search this area around Oakland Street and did not find the suspect that they're looking for. And they say that at this point, detectives are following up on any leads that they may have. Now, earlier tonight, we learned that that stabbing took place at 67 Oakland Street, that home behind me. There was some caution tape there before, but police have taken it down. But if you take a look a little bit further down the street, you can see that there is still a police presence. Now, we do know that the victim of the stabbing was taken to the hospital and has serious life-threatening injuries, according to police. They don't have a very detailed description of a suspect at this point, but they did say that the suspect was wearing a ski mask and a hoodie, and Manchester police is asking anyone in this area who might have surveillance video to give police a call. Now, again, even though police said that they have concluded their search of this area, they were asking residents to stay indoors while they did that. They had a canine out with them searching the area. This is still a very active scene, as again, the suspect has not been located at this time. So again, anyone with information or anyone with surveillance video is asked to give Manchester police a call. Live in Manchester, Gabby Molina, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, thank you, Gabby. And we will continue to bring you updates on this breaking news story. Be sure to scan the QR code to download the free Fox 61 News app. We'll also bring you updates, of course, on air and on fox61.com.
Well, new at 10 tonight, a teen was taken to the hospital after she was shot in the south end of Hartford earlier today. Police say it happened on Douglas Street just before 5 p.m. Officers found a 19-year-old woman shot there. She was alert and conscious when she was taken to the hospital for treatment. She is expected to survive her injuries. Police continue to investigate the shooting tonight.
Let's talk about another top story, the weather in our state. Another warm day across Connecticut, and the bears even waking up from their hibernation to enjoy the weather. This bear spotted on my deck last night.
Wait a second, your deck?
Yeah, I got
your
the ring.
house.
I got the ring notification. I looked to see. I thought it was my husband walking on the deck, and no, it was this bear. I nearly fell out of my seat last night. So.
I mean, and you're at work seeing this.
Yeah, I am.
It's scary stuff.
It's a big boy.
Yeah.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us right now.
Happening in her neighborhood.
I'm glad that your deck wasn't any smaller, or the bear would not have been able to fit.
But that's not the first bear sighting either.
No, we get a lot of them. But yeah, across the state too, we've seen over the last couple weeks.
We're all confused.
Yeah.
I mean, people are confused, plants are confused, animals are confused. And of course, look at these temperatures today. We made it into the 60s to near 70 degrees, just incredible warmth out there again today. And we ended up shattering the record for the Connecticut shoreline. The daily record high temperature was obliterated, and we even set a new February record temperature of 68 degrees. The old record was 67. That was set back several years, and it's just really impressive. Records go back to 1948. Here's a look at current temperatures across the state. We are still in the 50s. It is another mild day tomorrow, though not as warm as today. Satellite and radar quiet right now. We had one batch of showers come through earlier. We're in a little bit of a break in the action, but we have more rain coming this way as we head into the day tomorrow. Low temperatures tonight are going to bottom out in the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees. Then as we head through the day tomorrow, it's another warm one. Temperatures soaring into the 50s to near 60 degrees. We start the day off with a chance for a light scattered shower, but shortly after the morning commute, I think we'll see a steadier rain begin to develop. So it'll rain pretty good for a while as we head through your Friday. You don't need a heavy jacket, but you do want the umbrella. And then those showers will end as we head through the mid to late afternoon. Following that, it will turn cooler as we gear up for the weekend. We'll talk about what that means for Saturday and Sunday, your full forecast coming up.
See you in a bit, Rachel. Thank you. We do have an update tonight in the case of three people found dead in their their home in the town of Brooklyn. The medical examiner ruling the cause of death for the child and his mother a homicide. Officials confirming 33-year-old Lori Pizarro and her 3-year-old son Emmanuel Pizarro were shot and killed. The third adult has not been identified. State police say troopers are still investigating tonight.
Another tough story tonight, a family in mourning after their son died following a house fire in Reading. The fire happened Tuesday night on Diamond Hill Road. The family was home at the time and was able to get out, but their son, Brian Carlson, was injured and taken to the hospital. He died this afternoon. He was a 6th grade student at John Reed Middle School. The school is bringing in a crisis intervention team to step in and provide support in the coming days. The cause of that fire is still unknown.
A man from New Britain was arrested tonight after police say he stole a car and was then involved in a hit and run in Meriden early this morning. 24-year-old Wally Little was arrested after police were notified that he was driving erratically and was driving a badly damaged vehicle. When officers tried to arrest Little, he ran away and a nearby school had to be locked down as police searched for him.
When I first saw them, there were 3 officers and a dog. I asked what was going on, and later in the morning, the pursuit continued, and more officers showed up.
After Little's arrest, police found the car that he was driving to be stolen. Little is now facing several charges, including third-degree burglary. He's being held on a $100,000 bond.
We are learning new details about the finances of right-wing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones from his federal bankruptcy filing. Jones says that he paid New Haven criminal defense attorney Norm Pattis $160,000 for his initial services. He reported a gross income, meaning Alex Jones reported a gross income of around $617,000 in 2021 and $638,000 in 2020. The filing also says that Jones is, quote, holding firearms for certain January 6 participants to be provided. The filing, though, doesn't specify how many firearms or who he's holding them for.
A 24-year-old woman was shot in West Haven after a bar fight yesterday afternoon. West Haven police say that the fight spilled out onto Campbell Avenue near Main Street. Officers arrested Thomas Crocker and accused him of shooting a woman walking by the bar. He's now facing several charges, including criminal attempt at murder. He's currently being held on $1 million bond.
The former UConn student accused of killing 2 people, assaulting a man, and kidnapping a woman pleaded guilty in a Milford courtroom today. Police say that 26-year-old Peter Manfredonia of Newtown killed 62-year-old Theodore Demers, assaulted and kidnapped another man, and killed his childhood friend Nick Isley, and then kidnapped Isley's girlfriend. Manfredonia's lawyer saying mental health played a part in this crime spree.
I like to think, but for this pandemic, he would have gotten the treatment that was necessary, and this all could have been avoided.
Manfredonia is expected to be sentenced to 55 years in prison, running concurrently to the charges associated with last week's guilty plea. He's expected back in court in April.
Well, new at 10 tonight, Connecticut's first social equity joint venture cannabis retailers opening tomorrow. It's also the first recreational-only dispensary. Fox 61's Gabby Molina got a first look at the facility in Manchester earlier today and tells us about it tonight.
When Manfredonia in Manchester opens its doors on Friday, it will mark a very special first in Connecticut.
It's Connecticut's first equity joint venture, which is a partnership 50-50 between an existing medical operator, us Manfredonia, as well as our social equity partners.
People from communities that were most impacted by the war on drugs.
This is a very, 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 very small step in making right on the war on drugs.
Kennard Ray is the CEO of the Manchester location. He grew up not far from there in Hartford, in one of the state's poorest zip codes, and spent time in prison for drug and gun-related charges when he was younger. And he's spent years fighting for others like him to get second chances.
The path to even get to a place like this has been very, very long. And for me, that story includes a fight to make sure that, everyone has this opportunity.
When Connecticut legalized recreational marijuana, it made it a point to give people from those disproportionately impacted areas the opportunity to take part in the industry.
Having those folks disproportionately impacted, be kind of, get that leg up, have a seat at the table, have all the resources behind them. It really is the only fair and equitable thing to do.
But it also cleared thousands of low-level cannabis possession convictions and ensured that the money made from adult-use cannabis sales goes back into those communities as well.
As part of this legislation says that we will reinvest in the communities, not just in the people.
The state's Social Equity Council is offering loans and education to help get business owners started. And Friday's grand opening is the first of many more like it to come this year.
This is a actual living, proven example change could happen, right? And I want this location to do numbers, like break records and break barriers.
Reporting in Manchester, Gabby Molina, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Gabby. Well, new at 10, the YMCA Center in Putnam has reopened after it was closed because of a chemical spill. The Hale WMCA Youth and Family Center closed after 5 to 10 gallons of hydrochloric acid spilled last night. No injuries or illnesses have been reported. The YMCA was inspected and reopened at 9:30 this morning.
New at 10, Beatlemania in the Elm City tonight. Sir Paul McCartney spoke at Yale University this evening. The rock and roll legend was at Wolseley Hall to celebrate his new book called The Lyrics, 1956 to the present. The book reflects on his life and art through all 154 songs from all different stages of his career.
Well, we're really psyched to hear Paul McCartney and to hear more about how he created lyrics.
I've been listening to him for like 60 years, so since I've been like 6 or 8 years old.
McCartney was joined by editor and Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Paul Muldoon, as well as Yale English professor Langdon Hammer.
Fox 61 celebrates Black History Month.
New at 10, Hartford is highlighting Black-owned businesses tonight. The Hartford Yard Goats and the Stowe Black Marketplace held a Black Business Expo at Duncan Park. The event included networking opportunities for entrepreneurs. It was also a fun pop-up experience, which included a live DJ and dance performances. The goal was to highlight Black-owned businesses in the capital city and in other communities here in Connecticut.
There's about 60 vendors who have popped up today. Everyone from a little guy right there who's selling his bookmarks, who's about 8 years old, to women and men who are in their 70s that have created amazing crafts. They have services, they have goods. Organizers also say about 120 businesses applied for one of the 60 spots at tonight's expo.
We have